Alright, let's dive into something that's been making headlines lately, and honestly, it's a topic that's both fascinating and deeply concerning. So, here's the deal. BP, one of the world's biggest oil companies, just reported profits that have more than doubled, hitting a staggering $5.73 billion in just 3 months. What's the reason? Well, it's largely due to the soaring oil prices caused by the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. But here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't just about numbers. It's about the broader implications of what's happening in the energy sector and how it affects all of us. Personally, I think what makes this really interesting is the timing. We're living in an era where the climate crisis is knocking on our door louder than ever. Heat waves, wildfires, droughts, these aren't just news headlines, they're realities for millions of people. And yet, here we are, seeing oil giants like BP and Shell raking in record profits while households struggle with sky-high energy bills. It raises a deeper question: who's really paying the price for these profits? Is it fair that companies are thriving while the planet and its people are suffering? One thing that immediately stands out is the contrast between corporate success and public struggle. BP's new CEO, Meg O'Neill, mentioned that there's more to do because the company isn't making the most of its potential. Now, I find that fascinating. In my opinion, it's not just about maximizing profits, it's about the ethical responsibility these companies have. When you're making billions while the world grapples with a climate emergency, shouldn't there be a shift in priorities? What this really suggests is that the current system is broken. Profits are prioritized over people and the planet. What many people don't realize is how interconnected these issues are. The Middle East crisis isn't just a geopolitical issue, it's directly impacting global energy markets. BP's profits are a symptom of this instability, and it's not just BP, Shell and Aramco are seeing massive gains too. But here's the kicker: these profits are coming at a time when the world is desperately trying to transition away from fossil fuels. If you take a step back and think about it, it feels like we're moving in the wrong direction. The more money these companies make, the less incentive they have to invest in renewable energy. From my perspective, this also ties into broader political trends. The new UK Prime Minister, Andy Burnham, has been vocal about supporting domestic oil and gas production, saying the UK should use its own resources instead of relying on imports. Now, I get the pragmatism, jobs, energy security, all that. But what this really implies is a reluctance to fully commit to a green future. It's a short-term solution with long-term consequences. And let's not forget the backlash. Burnham's already facing criticism for this stance. It's a delicate balance, and honestly, I'm not convinced we're getting it right. A detail I find fascinating is how this all connects to the global climate movement. Activists like Rosie Downs from Friends of the Earth are calling out these profits as morally questionable. And they're not alone. Even Donald Trump has chimed in, saying oil companies are making too much money. Now, regardless of where you stand politically, the fact that this is becoming a bipartisan issue is significant. It shows that the public is starting to question the status quo. But here's the thing: will this outrage translate into real change? Or will it just be another headline that fades away? If you take a step back and think about it, this situation is a microcosm of the bigger challenges we face. The energy crisis, the climate crisis, geopolitical instability, they're all intertwined. And yet, the solutions often feel fragmented. Companies like BP talk about overhauls and new strategies, but how much of that is genuine, and how much is just PR? Personally, I think we need a fundamental shift in how we approach energy, not just from corporations, but from governments and individuals too. So, here's my closing thought: what if these record profits aren't just a sign of corporate success, but a wake-up call? What if they're forcing us to confront the uncomfortable truth that our current systems aren't sustainable? In my opinion, this isn't just about BP or oil prices, it's about the kind of world we want to live in. And honestly, I think we can do better. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going.